Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus On video. Allura. A very persuasive supervillain, but what does she really want? True by the pony tradition, after defeating one supervillain, we immediately replaced them with another one, because it would be boring if they didn't. But in any case, I think Allura is actually kind of an interesting supervillain, even though she appears to be almost in some ways a classical supervillain. She seems to be motivated by the typical things that a supervillain is motivated by, but in this case, it might be somewhat more than that. In some ways, we didn't really get to learn a lot about Allura's character because she spends most of the episode being persuasive and trying to persuade the ponies to get what she wants. But we did learn what she wants, but we don't know exactly why, and what she wants is, I want out of this realm. Exactly what does that mean? Does she want out of Starlight Ridge? Does she want out of Equestria? Does she want out of the world of Equestria entirely and like open an interdimensional portal to like another planet or something? Does she want to go to the human world? Ugh. Nah, do yourself a favor, Allura, and just stay where you are. Even in the subarctic, you're better off. That really is the interesting question with her is, why? Even if she just wants to leave Starlight Ridge. She does appear to effectively be a winged snow leopard, so in some ways she should like it up at north. And, well, maybe she's just tired of being cold and she wants to go somewhere warm, so. But, yeah, probably not that. But it also kind of sounds like it could also be that her brother might be, motivating her so that they both can go to another realm. Or maybe just so that he can go to another realm. That's an interesting question itself, is we hear her brother's voice, but we don't know where he is. Is he lurking somewhere in the forest? Or is he trapped in another realm? Or maybe even in between realms and she's trying to like free him? All good questions, but I don't really have any answers to them at this point, so there's definitely a lot of questions about Allura, her motivations, and what is she really like outside of being a supervillain, but it sounds like those are things that we will probably learn about in the future. So now kind of onto like almost her appearance and her abilities, which in some ways were really the things that we got to learn the most about. She's very persuasive, and I just love her voice. It's both calming and threatening at the same time. And even when she's shouting, she's whispering. I find that interesting in itself. Maybe in some ways that reveals something about her character. She's always, in some ways, understated and trying to be persuasive all the time. Or it just sounds really cool. But either way, I like it. I would do this voice for the rest of the video, but I know my voice will be toast by the end of it, so I can't help but think this must have been an interesting job opening. Must be very persuasive, and must be able to make animal purring noises. Well, I guess there have been stranger requests for voice actors. Her persuasion is actually kind of scary to me in some ways, because the ponies might have been able to use the magic snow and the snowballs to sort of get around this now, but now that she's back in Maritime Bay, that's not really an option. So, you know, she could put the ponies back into the trance by just basically just walking up to them. So the ponies are gonna have to find some other countermeasure to deal with this. Otherwise, they'll just go back into the trance and we'll all be sad. I didn't really think about it much at the time, but she has magic? I mean, sure, there are plenty of creatures out there that have magic, but it's almost kind of the rule that magic for the most part has to act through something, whether it's a horn, a claw, which doesn't appear to be the case here. Allura is just simply using magic, so, interesting. She has the ability to fly, she can do magic, she has the power of persuasion. And in Tell Your Tale, we also see that she almost has the ability to make the area freeze over. I wonder if this is like a magic power, or maybe this is just simply caused by Allura's presence. It'll be interesting to see which is true, so So in terms of her abilities, she's actually pretty formidable. This is why the Allura chords couldn't stand up to her, because all she has to do is just basically just talk to them, and now they're under her control. So the other thing that I found kind of worrisome is that,
oh, an alicorn, how quaint.
She knows about alicorns. Even more worrying than that, she doesn't even bat an eye at it. Alicorns are one of the most formidable, magical creatures in this universe. So for another creature to not even be concerned about that is quite concerning. So, And now briefly onto Twitch, who in some ways is just a classic minion. Do this, do that, go spy on the ponies, because Allura standing outside the window would kind of draw attention. It's difficult to be interested in a minion who I literally can't understand because he basically communicates in grunts. It's kind of funny, but that makes it difficult to think of him as anything other than, in some ways, a classic minion. Just goes around and basically almost in some ways runs errands, or a character for the supervillain to kick around when things don't go well. But who knows, maybe that will change in the future, but we shall see. The other interesting thing about Allura is that she has a cutie mark? It does appear that a lot more creatures are developing cutie marks, because we see through the bunnycorns and the rats at the wings. Maybe some of the pony's magic is, basically spreading to some of these other creatures. In any case, this cutie mark is kind of interesting. At first glance, it almost kind of looks like it's a portal with a star in the middle of it, so maybe that Allura is somehow connected with these portals? Maybe she's some sort of interdimensional being that is traveling between realms, and maybe they somehow got stuck here and now they're just trying to go to another realm, or maybe go back to where they came from. So I must admit, that's me kind of just speculating, but as an analyst, I guess that's my job, so But in any case, I look forward to learning more about her cutie mark, because I definitely think that there's a story worth telling here, so So, even though we didn't really get to learn much about Allura's character, she seems to be, fairly intelligent and definitely persuasive. And she does appear to be, in some ways, a classic supervillain.
What is it? You're annoying me.
But at the same time, I still find Allura intriguing. I don't know much about her, but that is kind of why I want to learn more. But in any case, I'm interested in seeing, where all this goes with Allura. I mean, is she a true supervillain? Or is she being pushed by her brother to, do all these bad things? It was interesting that Tell Your Tale is essentially giving Allura a second chance, because they're basically saying, we don't really know why she's here. Sure, she did some very bad things, but maybe she'll be different here. Maybe she'll not be evil here. So let's give her a chance. It'll be interesting to see where they go with that. If Allura, maybe has a change of heart, or will she just continue to be a supervillain? But we shall see. But in any case, I like Allura, I'm intrigued, and I look forward to learning more about her, her motivations, and seeing where all this goes in the future. So, roar! So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.